to let everybody get in and settled, and then we'll get started. Okay, I think that probably gives folks enough time to get settled in here. Thank you for joining us today. I hope that this time that you spend here will be worth it and enlightening to you. My name is Janet Johnson. I'm fortunate enough to head up marketing and sales for Charter School Capital. I have been here for the past couple of years, and during that time our company has grown, and we are actually trying to help other charter schools grow themselves through a new product, enrollment marketing. A little bit about me so that I have at least some semblance of understanding as to why I'm talking about enrollment marketing. I came through the technology world before I came to Charter School Capital, and for the past 15 years I've actually had my own consultancy, which has worked largely with ed tech companies and folks in the technology community that have really broken ground and moved the way that we deal with technology forward. I also was fortunate enough back in the day to be a social media for business rule breaker. We actually, a company that I was with at one time, started an ethical debate about in the blogosphere around paying bloggers to blog. And as such, I actually was a recipient of some pretty harsh social media tactics. And so I've been through probably some of the things that maybe some of you fear the most, and have come on the other side of it being a big proponent of transparency and support in the social web. In addition, I teach at the local university PR strategies. So my marketing hat is really around helping companies and schools in specific now deal with the changes in their communities, etc. So that's kind of why I've headed up the enrollment marketing program for Charter School Capital. We, in case you don't know much about us, have been around for the past 12 years. We really help charter schools whom we partner with to help them access, leverage, and sustain the resources that they need to actually thrive as they educate more students. Our #1 metric for success is the number of students we've been able to serve over the past 12 years, and we're really lucky to have exceeded the 1 million student mark last year, and that's something that we report on every month when we talk about our success in the market, and that's really how we measure our success. We've been able to invest more than $2 billion over the past 12 years in the charter school space. We focus solely on charter schools, and that is our mission is to help more students be able to get these kinds of personalized, individualized, and student-centered education. So we're in Portland, Oregon. We have a team of people who are very, very mission-driven, and you know, I'm very fortunate to be able to work with a wonderful team of people. So enough about us. Let's talk a little bit about enrollment marketing and building buzz for your school. In speaking with charter schools around the country, we note that enrollment marketing or marketing in general can either be something that is a scary thing or an exciting thing, or I just hate marketing, but everybody knows it's something that you actually have to do to attract more students and families to your schools. So we decided to take some of the challenges that schools have and kind of hit it head on and help them with enrollment marketing services. And I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes or so just talking through what we do for schools and how we do things for schools, and then I'll open it up for a few questions at the end. We actually like to start early in the year for best success with enrollment marketing. Obviously, when we plan for the school year, there's a big buzz in the summer to try and get the families into your school, but we actually prefer to have folks start in January planning for and working on their enrollment marketing, which is why I'm coming to you today and talking about it as we begin our falls together. January, February timeframe, pre-lottery are really when the planner parents are starting to look at where is my child going to go to school next fall. It's also the start of a new semester, so there's some opportunity to gather new students around that time. But when you start enrollment marketing, you have to build some foundational pieces, which we help you with, in order to go out into the market, into your communities, and attract new families and students to your school. So we like to spend the first couple of months of a calendar year working on preparing ourselves to go out into the market. And I'll talk about the kinds of different things that we do for that as we move forward through this webinar. But truly, if we spend the first couple of months of the year working on creating your stories, building out your website, ensuring that we are up and running in the lottery timeframe, March, April timeframe, where really if parents are starting to think about where they're going to go next year, we're going to be well set up for success. As we move through the year, in June, July, and August, and even into September, that's where the folks who haven't figured it quite out right yet are kind of starting to panic a little bit, and we have an opportunity there to help serve families in the community who haven't exactly figured out where they're going to go by bringing them in. But as we move through the calendar year, it gets a little more expensive to do enrollment marketing. The field is more crowded. You start to see TV ads from national schools, things like that. So the earlier in the year that we can get started, the better. And we put into place a whole bunch of different tactics to make sure that parents can become aware of your school, understand how your school is different, and then meet the folks from your school. So this is kind of how we look at it. Then in the fall, once we've completed our enrollment marketing and the counts are done and things like that, we actually spend time reporting on the results that we've had together, kind of picking apart what went well, what didn't go well, and then moving forward to start to prep for the next year. So as you think about enrollment marketing success, think about a January start time, please, because that will set you up for success as we work together. And by the way, if you decide not to work with us for this, the rules still kind of apply. So please note that there are a lot of activities that you need to do as you move forward through the year. And this looks like kind of a complicated slide, but I'd like to kind of take you through a little bit about a marketing marketing tool called the funnel. The funnel, and we'll talk about this in the next few slides, the funnel is a way that we actually say, so many people up here at the top of the funnel are aware of your school. And we want to make sure that as many families are aware of your school's unique value in the community. And then as people become more engaged with you and see your school as an option for their child, that's where the funnel narrows. You know, not everybody who's aware of your school will be interested in sending their child to your school. But as they become more and more engaged, and there are different marketing tools we use for engagement, the number of people or number of students kind of narrow a little bit. And then by the time we get the students enrolled, obviously you don't enroll 100% of students that are, or families who are interested in your school, it narrows even further. So you have to cast a very wide net at the top. And in general, you use things like your website and being easily found in searches and those kinds of things, PR activities, social media, those kinds of things at the very top, and then moving through more targeted messages as you start to engage with parents, and then down to where I call the last mile, which is actual community meetings with families and with your staff and with your teachers, school tours, open houses, those kinds of things are really where the rubber meets the road. So most schools actually are really strong at the bottom of the funnel, and you know, their staff and their teachers and folks who are out in the community who know a lot of folks can attract, you know, a certain number of folks down at the bottom of the funnel. But at the top, that's the part that kind of is a mystery to people because it's largely digital. It's you have to have stories that you can tell, etc. So we really, as Charter School Capital and our enrollment marketing program, really help out at the top of the funnel, and that's really the way that we're able to help schools drive enrollment the most credible and critical way possible. So the first thing we do when we talk to a school about enrollment marketing is we actually develop stories, and I call these story arcs. These stories are things that are very, very unique. You might have, say, a STEAM focused education, or you might have a really strong sports program, or you might have a really strong arts program. We will tease those out with you, and we will create what we call story arcs that we can talk about through the entire year to attract the right parents of the right children for your school. So each school will have, will spend some time finding out more about you, your school, your community, the schools around your community, and find out those unique differences that we can actually talk about throughout the enrollment season. So that's the first thing we do. Back to the funnel a little bit again. For the awareness side of the tactics that we employ, this is that digital marketing expertise that we're able to bring. It all starts with your website. Your website has to be a beautiful site that works really well on mobile phones, and that it has to perform well so that Google and other search engines are able to use your web to display results once you are, you know, once someone does a search for maybe your school name, but much more likely something like charter school near me. That's a really important search phrase for you to qualify for if you want to get local families around. So that's where we come in and really work with you from a digital perspective. Sometimes at the awareness stage we do paid media as well, so that we can cast a very wide net using these stories that we've created for you to bring families in and interest them in your specific school. And then as we move down the funnel to the engagement phase, we look at new tools that we will create with you or that we will leverage for you, such as email. We can take over your social media feeds. We can provide support for your social media feeds. We can provide support for email campaigns, those kinds of things. We work with schools who either already have email systems or we will build them for you. We work with schools who take care of social media themselves, or we will do it for you, or some combination of the two. So we want you to know that we're not coming in to try and take over what you're already doing, but oftentimes we'll work with schools and the leadership and the staff to bring the folks who are doing it into a best practice by helping train, support, and lead them to even better results. And then as we move into the conversion phase, this is where your events come in, and they're very, very important. that you have a plan, and we will ask you to develop a plan to have plenty of events during the school year, during the summer season, where the folks from the community can meet you either at your physical school, or if you have a virtual school, we'll ask you to meet at perhaps an ice cream social, or host something in a park that students can attend to get to meet the staff. Because when people are trying to choose a school for their child, it's still the truth that you got to meet the people behind the school. And so we will work with you to develop and deliver the an appropriate events venue, appropriate events timing, those kinds of things. And again, if you already have that down, we'll just help drive the students and their families to the events that you've already gotten. But one of the things that we do as part of our enrollment marketing is to really partner with you and your school leadership, your staff, your teachers, so that we must have shared responsibility for driving the families and their students to events where we actually can have folks meet each other face to face. There's no substitute for that. And then from a loyalty perspective, this is after the students have enrolled, the families are happy with your school. We really want to make sure that others understand what a great experience your students have had with you. So we'll help you with your loyalty programs. We'll help you get parents to actually help rate the schools, which will help at the awareness and engagement phase as well, because we all know there's absolutely nothing better in the world when you're considering sending someone to a school or going to a doctor, or is a referral. So those parent engagements are going to be really critical as we work together to create loyalty, bring other family members in, attract other students from, cousins, family, friends in the neighborhood, etc., to your charter school. It'll be very, very important to have loyalty programs that can go throughout the year. And as we do all of this, what is really important to us is that we train you as we go. So we're not going to just do these kinds of things and then leave you flat. We actually will help you understand why we're doing what we're doing, so that you can take over, if you'd like, the next year. Now, we also have schools who have gone through the program with us, and once it's time to stop, they say, hey, we want your continued help to go on, which is also a really lovely thing. And we'll work together to structure these engagements with you such that it works the best for you. So let's talk a little bit about the results. I pulled some results from a Florida client that already has been able to report on our results this school year. When we did the awareness tactics up at the top of the funnel, and I mentioned that charter school near me or elementary school near me are very important searches to do that, we were able to drive more than 1,700 searches at that very, what we call, discovery level to the school itself. And of those, we were able to count that, and this is the beauty of digital marketing, about 1,500 people took action from those 1,700 search results. And of those 1,500 people, almost 800 of them visited the school's website. Almost 350 requested directions to the school, and 366 folks called the school itself. So just from doing the top of the funnel awareness work very, very well, we were able to motivate people to start to become engaged with the school, so in the middle of the funnel. When we looked at our search analytics a little bit more, we were able to show a very large difference between the clicks that went to the school from before we started to work with the school to after. And we actually increased both the click-through rate by 100%, doubling it, and the overall clicks went to almost 1.5 times. So it was, if you employ the work that we do and we teach you how to do it, it really does drive real results. In addition, I just wanted to call out a couple of social media benefits of working together with our school here. They had a really nice Facebook page, but we were able to increase their likes up to, they started with us at 146. And then by the time that school was really starting to go, we were able to increase their likes up to 557. So that's a huge increase. The follower increase was very, very large. The engagement on Facebook just blossomed, and that's what we're able to help the schools achieve. And then at the same time, we were really able to see with all that activity at the top of the funnel, there was a lot more engagement with the website of the school. And on the website, in this particular case, we actually were able to create a Spanish language version of the website. We made sure that they had chat available, because they were able to staff a chat function so that not only could people call, but they could actually chat with the people at the other end. And they actually are one of the schools that have asked how much farther along can we take this? Do we actually have to stop working with you now? So we feel really fortunate that we've had good partners in terms of the schools to work with this year. I wanted just to throw this slide up. We have a large menu of services that we provide for our clients and our partners at the schools. Some of them are, especially in the purple box over here, these are things that we do foundationally to set the school up for enrollment marketing, as I said before. Things like your strategy, what we're going to measure, doing your website updates, optimizing your website so we can get great search results. And then we go into the tactics like paid advertising. We'll do the social media management. We'll get you listed in directories so that people outside of your website or in your community can find you in other places they might look. And then the local search rankings are really what can drive those calls and visits to the school itself. And then again, email marketing, creative and design services. For one of our schools, we created a series of story arcs in postcards that we sent out to competitive school systems that in the traditional public schools weren't doing as well. Their grades weren't as good as one of our schools were. So we targeted postcards for those zip codes. And that seemed to be a good way to raise awareness as well. And then all along the way, we regularly meet with the school. We actually have weekly meetings with the school representative when this goes very well. And we create reports so that the management team can understand what we're doing. And we rely on the school to count back and let us know how the enrollments are going, where they're getting stuck in the process, and we work through all of that. And it's not just I who provide these services. I've got a team of people that I work with, and I'm very fortunate to have had long-term relationships with a couple of these folks. Ben Scanlon and Ashley McQuarrie are both very, very well versed in enrollment marketing. Ben and I work together at K12.com. Ashley and I work together there as well as a company called KC Distance Learning back in the day. These two folks really understand charter schools. They really understand enrollment marketing, and they're very, very good at what they do. So you're tapping into a team of really smart, I hope, these two anyway, are really smart and very diligent about how they are able to deliver results. So you'd be looking at a highly experienced team. We focus on the uniqueness of each school, and probably the most kind of gobsmacking thing about this service is Charter School Capital is creating this as a service where we only get paid if we deliver the results that we hope to get. So, unlike other marketing services where you pay by the month, and you have to pay a certain amount of dollars per month. It's only when we deliver increased enrollment, or enrollment that, you know, your count date in spring is this, your count date in fall is this, and we'll help get paid for that difference. We assume all the risk, all the costs of the advertising, etc., and only when we deliver students to your school will we get paid. And we do that because our mission is to help charter schools serve more students. So we actually assume all of the risk. We believe in our work, we believe in our people, and we want to make sure that we give everyone an opportunity, if they can, to not have to pay during the year, but at the count date, that's when we work out how to get paid. All right. And so I will want you to, after this, talk to someone in the sales team here at our client services team at Charter School Capital, and they can help you kind of understand how the payment process works, etc. So I would be remiss if I didn't talk to you folks a little bit about the fact that we have other products that we offer up from Charter School Capital. We're kind of known for our gap financing, our smoothing out the year with what we call working capital. We also provide facilities financing for schools who actually want to lease their facilities. We also provide energy services to get into more healthy buildings that can take we can help you put a solar array on your parking lot rooftops if that would help lower your energy costs. And then certainly enrollment marketing. Medicaid billing is another one, Medicaid reimbursement that we are offering to large schools who need it. So again, talk with your client services representative, reach out to us in any way, shape, or form, and we'll be very, very happy to assist you in understanding how we might help your school either stabilize, grow, and get to that next level of serving more students. And with that, I'm going to pause for a moment and open it up to questions. I see a few of them have come in while I've been talking. Let me go to one here. Okay, this one came in early, but how do we charge for our services? Again, we assume all the risk. Basically, we will either charge by the application that we have been able to deliver, or by the number of students that are actually sitting and being counted on count date. The way that we structure these things is that we do a count. We rely on our partners to help us understand how many students they need, how many they're targeting, so that we're allowing the school to staff appropriately with teachers, etc., for the different grades that they're serving. And then we just turn on the programs to boost the enrollment in those particular grades, even if we can. This is a good question. What can go wrong? Here's what we've learned in our years of doing this. If we have a school partner who is worried about something else, their eye is off the ball for a different reason during the enrollment season, and they can't meet with us regularly, they can't provide the open houses that we need, the community events that we need to drive people to, then our work is going to largely go unnoticed. So we need, what can go wrong is we need engagement from the school leadership. We need a single point of contact that can meet with us weekly and give us feedback as to what's going on in the school. The best case scenario is when we have an engaged person, a single engaged person on the other side who will help us negotiate the ebbs and flows of the calendar. So what can go wrong is we have a partner on the other side who's not paying attention to us, or who skips meeting a lot, and that kind of thing. I can tell you that's not going to drive enrollments for us. Another one, how long does it go? Well, we're wrapping up with schools right now. As you remember probably with the calendar, we're about to go into, at the end of this month of September, we're about to go into the reporting and reflection period and the planning period for next year for our current schools. So right now is the time to actually get set up and talk to a client services representative so that we can, talk about the enrollment marketing process, talk through your particular school's needs, and see whether or not we might have a good fit for a partnership here. And I'll close by saying a lot of the things that I've been talking about will work for your school, whether we're involved or not. We have a pretty nice digital marketing workbook, I believe, a playbook that's available up on our website. I would encourage you to download it. We have another digital marketing presentation. I know it's a webinar that's previously recorded. I would encourage you to look at that. And should you decide to go out on your own and do these things, enjoy. It's a really fun space to be in. And I would look forward to, and I do work with absolutely every single one of our schools, along with Ben and Ashley and other members of our team, to make sure that enrollment marketing goes well for you. So I want to thank you for your time today. Please reach out if you have any questions. I've left my email address here, and we'll look forward to connecting and hearing about the success of your school as you move forward. Thanks for your time today.